Hello and welcome to my first YouTube video. Today we're actually going to be making one of the very first templates that I've ever made. If you're finding this on YouTube and you don't have this template, I'll drop the link. If you are on this video because you already bought the template, thank you so much for your support. I love that. I actually made this template years ago, and it's for an extra large dog bowl because I had an extra large dog. Over the years I've been kind of perfecting it. I did put it away for a long time, but here I am. I think I've got it exactly where I want it. So now I've started to share it with you. So I have actually already cut out my pieces. You have 3 template pieces. The bone is optional. You can also use a cookie cutter if you have it. The base and the walls. So you have to cut out the wall 3 times, but that is your 3 template pieces. And as you can see, I've already got them cut out just to save some time. One thing I did want to mention is on your walls, make sure that you're beveling each side and like bevel the opposite side. So I've got one side done, then I flip it over and bevel the other side. So I personally only bevel the walls for this. You can, really, if you're an experienced hand builder, you know what your preferred style is. Maybe you want to bevel the whole thing and attach it that way. Personally, I just bevel the walls and then I attach it on top of my base. So I will show you. Okay, so that is done. The next step that you're going to want to do, so you're going to want to make sure these line up and you have your bottom correct. Okay, so all of my pieces line up like so, so I make sure I can see where they're going to connect, and I'm going to score the bottom. So you can either score by doing something like this on the edges, just the edges of your base. I have this scoring tool that I like to use. So I'm going to score the bottom of this here. I love the scoring tool because it just saves so much time. Ta-da, just like that. And then I've decided my walls, the bottom, this is going to be my bottom here. So I'm going to score just the bottom, the very bottom edge. Ta-da. Get all these little pieces, put them in the reclaim bucket. Good old reclaim bucket. I don't know where my bucket went. Huh? Okay, just go up there for now. Don't forget to score your beveled sides. Flip this side. So I do like to put these aside for like 15 minutes or so, just so they harden a little bit and they're easier to work with. You don't have to do that. Depends. Really it depends on your comfort level. My comfort is when they're a little bit harder, but I took a while to go ready, so I've got one kind of stiffer piece that's a little drier, and the rest are a bit soft, but that's okay. And then the bone, the optional bone. So I personally love having the bone on mine. I'm going to score the back side. And this will be put on at the very last, not very last, but one of the last steps. So I've got it scored, put it to the side. Another thing that I'm going to do with this, we'll do it after. Okay, so now I have my base. And I have a little cup of vinegar. So, with your vinegar, you can also use water for this, or you can use slip. Again, it's your comfort level. I've just started using the vinegar, and I love it. I'm finding it's way easier to work with. I've always used slip, but slip makes a mess, and I find the vinegar just a lot easier to like clean up the edges afterwards. I don't know. I'm becoming a vinegar person. I know people who will put vinegar in their slip. You're gonna find people find their own ways of doing things and how they like to do it. I don't think pottery or ceramics or any art form should be one size fits all, because everyone has their own way. I know I do, and it probably drives people crazy. I'm probably gonna get some comments on this video of other potters being like, "Why did you do this and this and this?" Because I could, and it's my template. So thanks for coming up. Okay, so you're gonna put it on your wall. I will make sure that it's aligned with the edges of the base, like so. And then press down a little bit just to secure it. I use my finger and I just glide. There we go. Now I'm going to go to the next wall piece. Same thing. Vinegar on all of these scored parts. Okay. So I've got my scored part. It's got to match the scored part on the base. This is the scored area, scored part, scored section, whatever you want to call it. And make sure each bevel piece, see, this is why I like when I'm working with it, it's a bit stiffer. Falls when you don't. So I've got it joined at the bevel. Now it's not. Okay, and push to the edge so that it's all aligned. Pressing it down a little bit just to keep it secured. I'm going to press into my bevel pieces. There are so many ways to do this. You can slap it together if you want. I do use my paddle quite a bit. I will show you why momentarily. Okay, use the finger and glide it. Don't forget too, you will be trimming this like you do any other pottery. You just don't trim as much as you do with like when you've made it on the wheel. Okay, so now I have my last piece. This is the stiffer piece. So this one's going to be easier to work with. Vinegar. Vinegar. Remember, I'm doing this fast. If it's your first time, you're not going to be as fast. I also pre-cut my pieces, so there's that too. And now I've got it all lined up. Okay, bevel pot spot and push to the edge so it matches. Okay, and sometimes this happens. So I just made another one of these like 20 minutes ago, and this was not a problem. How I've got some overlap there. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. The dryness of the pieces, how much it's stretched while you've been handling it, etc. So all you do in that case, okay, I'm just using my finger to glide it, and I'm putting these pieces together here. And I mean, you could secure it this way. You could, and then you have a bit of a bulge, but you can trim that off or whatever works for you. Also didn't align it properly, but that's okay because we're going to cut it. Take your tool, you can take a craft knife. Personally, I use a craft knife, and I will cut it at an angle so that each side is beveled. Just do it slowly and carefully. And then the excess pieces take away. So I've got that here, this here. I did not cut in the straightest line, so make sure you're cutting straight. Oh, how bad is it? No, I also didn't have it quite aligned, so let me try that again here. I just do it slightly. Need a new craft knife. This one's not very sharp anymore. Okay, so taking out the excess. When you're doing this, you'll be doing it a little slower, a little more precise. So I'm just gonna score these edges again. Remember, it's the opposite sides. Okay, take my vinegar, just lightly. There we go. So that will stick together. The particles will form together properly. And there. So I'm going to pull this a bit. There. It's hard to do with cameras. Okay, now I'm taking, because I have a seam here. If you love the look of the seams, because it is a handmade piece, I mean, people love that. Sometimes I leave the seam, sometimes I don't. I'm starting to lean towards not leaving the seam. I'm also trying to be a little more patient with myself and my work. But, anyways, you can use your rib. I'll put the camera on the other side here. And just go up and just kind of smooth it out. You'll be using your sponge as well to smooth it out. Another way that you can do this, so I usually use my rib on the inside, and I use my paddle on the outside. So I'll show you the next one. I'm just trying to smooth it out as much as I can. It's not always going to be perfect. You'll smooth it out again with the sponge after. So, okay, got the seam here. Just going to use my finger to kind of blend it. If it had left like a bulge, you can slap that bulge out. This one didn't. But if it had a bulge, I would put my hand here and just slap it out. See, kind of makes it forms together the clay. My chair is very squeaky. I'm going to have to get that fixed. There we go. Remember, smooth out your spots. Now I know next time I'm putting the camera on the other side, since I'm right-handed and all. Okay. On the inside, I'm going to use my rib. Just smoothing it to get rid of those edges. Okay. Boom. Now remember, use your finger. Make sure your seams are covered with clay and good. If it starts to come out a bit, remember you can trim that later or even now. I'm going to go through the inside with my vinegar again and the inside seam just to make sure it's all secured. Trying to make it so it doesn't look like there's a whole bunch of air pockets in there, or like the line, like it doesn't look broken. I'm going to give this just a second to set. Boom. Okay. And for the bone, you can just leave the bone blank. You can put your dog's name on it. You can put food, water. The one that I had just made, the bone said food. So this one is actually going to say water. And you can... So a lot of people will wait till it's leather hard to do this. Normally I would too. For the sake of this video, I am not. But I have all my letters here. W-A-T... Okay, so this is going to be the water bowl. I have started, so I 3D printed these myself, but I'm still very much learning how to use a 3D printer. And I created a bone cookie cutter with like a stamped imprint. The problem is I didn't connect the imprint, aka the letters to the actual cutter. So I got a bunch of letters and a cutter. Which I didn't even use the cutter for this. But I am using the letters. You know, I'm just learning. It's like a new hobby, and I'm not centered, but that's okay. It is what it is. Centered enough. It's good enough. Get the W in there. This is going to be my dog's bowl. Okay, so I have scored back. Put water on the front. Again, you put whatever you want. You can put cat. You can put whatever suits whatever you're making this bowl for. And I will decide where I'm going to put my bone. You can put it in the center. You can put it maybe some in the center. In the center of the bowl on the bottom. But remember, you want this to be food safe for your pooch or whoever's pooch. So you will have to glaze it. I'm going to put this, I usually like to put them on a seam to kind of try and hide the seam a little more. So I'm going to put it here. I'm just going to line it up, just lightly outline where I'm going to put it. Just so I know where to score. So you want to score both sides that are being attached, right? Okay. See, so I have like a light outline there. I'm gonna score this. Use my vinegar and my paintbrush. Add to all the scored areas so it attaches correctly. I know it looks real messy right now, but that is okay, because we're going to clean it up with a sponge after. Sponge and water, your best friends. Harry Potter's best friends, sponge and water. Okay, so make sure it's right side up. Attach it. Make sure you press down so it all forms together. And I will use my paintbrush again. Go around the shape like so, just to make sure it's all sealed up. Okay. Boom. So I know it looks very messy right now, but don't worry. It all comes together. Okay. Now I'm going to use my sponge. This is where I just start cleaning it up. So, start with the inside. Get rid of any marks from my nails, because I have nails right now, and they're a little longer than I usually like to have them, but that's okay. I like hand building because I can still have nails. And I like having nails. I work in a very professional setting, and you know what? I like to... I mean, you can work in a professional setting and not have nails too and still look good. But for me, like, my personal preference is that I have nails. It just gives me this, like, sense of having my life together. And if you know me in person, you know that that is not the case. So, okay, and then remember to pay extra attention to the seams. If you need to, just take that rib again. Just get in there, smooth it out. Just use your sponge to clean it. Stretching the clay a little bit too much here, but again, we'll fix it. They have like little holes, because sometimes I come with little holes, and I've noticed that it really screws me over when it comes to glazing. Just make sure you try to get those covers, scratches, holes, whatever. Remember, when your piece is leather hard, you can go in and do this again. Just try to get most of it smoothed out for your own sanity. I find find if I don't do this and I just leave it and then I'm like, oh, I'll just fix it later when it's leather hard, it doesn't fix as well. Okay. Da-da-da. Okay. So I've sponged most of the inside. Oh, piece dropped. Okay. I'm going to go over your seams again, make sure they're all good. I'm going to go over your seams a lot. Get your sponge wet again. Now I'm going to do the outside. So I won't lift this after. That's why I have it on this board. I forgot to mention that. Using a board it's just a good idea, because then you don't have to lift the piece and warp it and all that. As you go, you're going to see things that you're like, oh, I should have fixed that inside. But that's okay. Just do it. Okay, so I have my bone here, smoothing it all out, blending it. Lesson learned, turning camera to the other side next time. Okay. Smooth your bottom where your seam was. Again, when the piece is leather hard, we'll be doing this again. But you just want to get as much as you can out of the way now, because the less you have to do later, the better. Right? Okay. Okay. My seam, I've got a bit of a bulgy spot here that I'm going to trim once it's leather hard. You know, does anyone remember that song when we were kids? And I don't know, I was in like 5th grade. Maybe it was just my school, maybe it was just my teacher, I don't know. But we sang a song and it was like clean up, something, something, join hands, I don't know. I get like the tune of that stuck in my head when I'm doing this all the time. And I'll sing it to myself. Clean up, da-da-da-da. Hopefully that's not a copyrighted song. I didn't sing it all the time. Okay, so this looks about good for now. Once it's leather hard, I will definitely be doing more. I'm going to compress my edges here at the top. Give them a little more smoothing. Oh. Remember, in this stage of the clay, most things are fixable. I see a gap in my hair, so I'm just going to use my vinegar brush. And perfect. Okay. Make it all look pretty. So, for the bottom of the bone, I'm going to have to inspect it when it's leather hard because I don't want to lift this, but you can also just dip your paintbrush in some water just to reinforce, paint around, especially at the bottom because you can't really see it. There. And that is it for now. So, one thing I do have, and I don't have the one for this size here, is, so I told you I've been getting I got a 3D printer and I've been playing with it, learning it. I made cylinders to put in my bowls so that they dry a little flatter. the one for this size bowl is currently printing, and it has been printing for the last 24 hours. So if it's the wrong size, that's gonna suck. But that's okay. All a learning experience. Okay. Just a little extra cleanup from where I touched it with one hand. Check the inside, make sure my seams are all good. There's no crazy scratches that I want to fix before it's too hard. And that's it. I have my cylinders, but there are other things, anything circular, really, you can use to try and make sure it doesn't warp. For example, I have a whole bunch of these terracotta pots. So, that's going to be way too small. Oop, paper. Stopping it from sticking. Way too small. And I think this one's actually too big. But these are examples of things you can use to try and keep it level, try to keep it from warping too much, try and keep it perfectly cylinder. I used to embrace the imperfect pots. I still do, really. I don't want to be someone who has to make everything cookie cutter and perfect all the time. I want it to be usable. I want it to be as perfect as possible, but I think I like my aesthetic to be a little wonky, a little more warped. But you don't have to. That's entirely up to you. So when my cylinder is done, I will be testing it on this bowl and putting it in so that I can dry and kind of form around it so it makes the perfect cylinder. Perfect. Yeah. That is the bowl. Okay, I'll put these away. Put these back so that I can do that spin again. No, it doesn't fit. There. Okay. Here is the bowl. And see, when you're spinning, you find spots that need to be fixed. The inside I always find it's the easiest to fix when it's leather hard, but that's the bowl. That is the water bowl. This is the template. Yeah. So thank you for coming. Remember, if you don't have the template, the link will be in the bottom. If you do have the template, thank you so much. Please give me a like and a follow. I will be doing more and more templates like this. I am also going to do a separate video of me finishing this. So it'll be when it's leather hard and then the glazing process. Yeah. Oh, there's a hair in it. I was going to say something else and I forgot. This is what... I just realized that my mic's not on. I hope you got enough recording with that audio. I'm wearing a microphone and my microphone is not on. Welcome to my first video. It's a disaster. Did I even turn that damn thing on? Okay. At least it's recording. Just not this. So yeah. Link in bio. Please send me a follow. I'm going to be selling the STL files for the bones, like for the cookie cutters and the stamps, when I, figure all that out. I'll probably redo this video after I figure all that out too. Good times. Thanks. Bye.